Country of origin. That's it. Well, more specifically, it's animation that's both produced and animated in Japan. Anime is bigger than ever before, so I'm certain that many of you watching this already know that. However, the label has been debated before and thrown around to the point that shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Castlevania are often misidentified as anime for one reason or another. As such, I hope this video will serve as a quick and informative guide for helping you properly identify your favorite shows. Let's begin. When looking into anime, you'll most immediately notice that the most popular shows can look quite different from what you'll find in Western animation. While you may notice certain traits like large expressive eyes or even a different visual language to visualize emotion, there is no one specific art style for anime. Very casual viewers or those not familiar with Japanese works may not pick up on it as easily, but there are just as many art styles as there are artists. Yes, different eras can appear to have a certain look to them, but even more recent shows have noticeable differences in their styles. Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, for example, looks like a more angular version of the Powerpuff Girls, while JoJo's Bizarre Adventure aims for more realism underneath the unique fashion sense and statuesque posing. Just with huge film releases from 2025, Reze Arc more faithfully captures Tatsuki Fujimoto's scratchy art style from Chainsaw Man, which contrasts with Infinity Castle's refined presentation of Koyohoro Gotoge's outline-heavy style. If you're still not sure, a giveaway is usually the mouths. Since Western shows animate to a voice actor's performance, there are usually more mouth positions when simulating speech. Since anime are typically animated before they are voiced, and as a way to cut time and cost, the mouth positions are mostly limited to mouth open and mouth closed. I say mostly because there are still some unique expressions. Western animation has also taken more influence from anime over the years, borrowing elements like the unique visual language or dynamic action scenes. However, this influence doesn't automatically classify something as anime, as shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Castlevania, which are frequently mislabeled this way, are still distinctly American. A possible counter-argument is that anime is short for animation in Japan. That's true, but anime is a useful way to distinguish it from Western media, as Japanese animation is still distinctly Japanese. I should mention here that while country of origin is key, it doesn't qualify as anime just for being based on a Japanese property. Witchblade, for instance, is based on an American comic book series published by Top Cow, but the animated counterpart was wholly produced and animated in Japan. While I'm at it, the animated version of Solo Leveling is indeed an anime, but it was based on a Korean comic, so the source material would be a manhwa and not a manga. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation. There's some additional nuance to address as well, particularly that outsourcing the animation doesn't change the country of origin. Otherwise, something like Batman the Animated Series would be Japanese, and countless American shows would be considered Korean. It also isn't automatically disqualified as anime if it was co-produced by America, as is the case with some Adult Swim shows like Lazarus or Housing Complex C. If you're still not sure about certain shows, a surefire method is checking My Anime List, which uses country of origin and only lists a show if it counts as anime by that definition. Putting country of origin into practice, the original thumbnail of this video depicts Devil May Cry the Animated Series from 2007, as well as the Netflix series Devil May Cry from 2025. The former was produced and animated in Japan by Madhouse and aired on Japanese TV before making its way over here in dubbed form. The latter, however, was a US-Korea co-production, with Studio Mir both producing and animating it. If you want to be pedantic, that could make it aini, but it would be considered an American series. It's based on a Japanese franchise and takes influence from anime, but it still falls out of that category. And that's the video. Anime is a wonderful medium filled with unique stories, and while I wouldn't consider myself a connoisseur even after decades of consuming it, I think the distinction is an important one, as not everything that a service may label as anime actually fits that category. In any case, I hope this video was helpful, but if there was something I overlooked, please let me know. We're always learning. Until we meet again.